Upbeat, curiosity-sparking intro music fades into the background. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying back in time, over 400 years ago, to the beautiful landscapes of Renaissance Italy. We're going to tell the story of a man whose insatiable curiosity forever changed how we see our place in the cosmos. His name was Galileo Galilei, and this is the story of how he reached for the stars. Imagine a world where everything you thought you knew about the universe was based on what you could see with your own two eyes. The Earth felt solid, unmoving, and surely everything in the heavens, the sun, the moon, the planets, and the stars, must circle around us. This was the accepted truth for thousands of years. But Galileo wasn't a man who just accepted things. He was a thinker, an observer, a questioner. He was fascinated by the world around him, from the way a ball falls to the ground to the swinging of a chandelier in a cathedral. This relentless curiosity would soon lead him to challenge the very foundations of knowledge. In the early 1600s, whispers traveled across Europe about a new Dutch invention, a spyglass that could make distant objects appear closer. While many saw it as a novelty or a tool for sailors and soldiers, Galileo saw something more. He saw a key to unlock the secrets of the night sky. He didn't just buy one, he improved it. Working tirelessly, he crafted his own telescope, one far more powerful than any that had come before. And then he did something revolutionary. He pointed it upwards. One fateful night under the clear Italian sky, Galileo aimed his new instrument at the moon. What he saw was breathtaking. For centuries, people believed the moon was a perfect, smooth, celestial sphere. But Galileo saw something different. He saw a world of shadows and light, of rugged mountains and deep craters, not so different from our own Earth. This was the first crack in the old world view. The heavens weren't perfect and unchanging. They were complex, textured, and real. But he didn't stop there. Night after night, he scanned the cosmos. When he turned his telescope to the Milky Way, what appeared as a faint, cloudy band to the naked eye resolved into a breathtaking river of countless individual stars. The universe was suddenly so much vaster, so much more crowded than anyone had ever imagined. Then came the discovery that would truly shake the world. As he observed the planet Jupiter, he noticed 4 tiny points of light nearby. At first, he thought they were just background stars. But as he watched over several nights, he saw them moving. And they weren't just wandering aimlessly. They were orbiting Jupiter. He had discovered Jupiter's 4 largest moons, now known as the Galilean moons, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. This was a bombshell. Here was clear, irrefutable proof that not everything in the universe revolved around the Earth. If these moons could orbit Jupiter, then perhaps, just perhaps, the Earth wasn't the center of everything. This observation gave strong support to a controversial idea proposed decades earlier by a Polish astronomer named Nicolaus Copernicus, the heliocentric model, which suggested that the Earth and the other planets actually revolved around the sun. Galileo published his findings in a small book called The Starry Messenger. It became an instant sensation, making him famous across Europe. But his ideas also attracted powerful enemies. The established doctrine, supported by the immense authority of the Church, was that the Earth was the center of God's creation. To suggest otherwise was not just a scientific disagreement, it was seen as a direct challenge to Scripture and to the established order. Despite the growing danger, Galileo was a man of conviction. He believed that science and faith could coexist, that the book of nature and the book of Scripture were both written by the same divine hand, just in different languages. He wrote letters, engaged in debates, and passionately argued that his observations were not heresy, but a glimpse into the true majesty of creation. He famously wrote, "I do not feel obliged to believe that the same God who has endowed us with sense, reason, and intellect has intended us to forego their use. His most famous work, Dialogue Concerning the Two Chief World Systems, laid out the arguments for both the Earth-centered and Sun-centered models. Although he was ordered to present the arguments neutrally, it was clear to everyone which side he favored. The character defending the old view was portrayed as simple-minded, while the one arguing for the Copernican system was sharp and persuasive. This was the final straw for his opponents. In 1633, the aging Galileo was summoned to Rome to stand trial before the Inquisition. Under immense pressure and the threat of torture, he was found vehemently suspect of heresy. He was forced to publicly recant his beliefs, to deny the truth he had seen with his own eyes. As a punishment, he was placed under house arrest for the rest of his life, forbidden from publishing or teaching his radical ideas. It's a heartbreaking image, one of history's greatest minds, silenced and confined. But even in defeat, the legend of Galileo's defiance lives on. As the story goes, after his public recantation, as he rose from his knees, he muttered under his breath, "Eppur si muove." And yet, it moves. While this is likely a legend that grew over time, it perfectly captures the spirit of Galileo's unwavering belief in the truth. He could be forced to say the words, but no one could force him to change what he knew in his heart to be true. Galileo spent his final years in his villa near Florence, blind from years of staring at the sun through his telescope, but his mind remained as sharp as ever. He continued his work on the science of motion, laying the groundwork for Isaac Newton's laws of motion and gravity. Today, we remember Galileo Galilei not as a heretic, but as a hero of science. He is often called the father of modern observational astronomy and the father of modern science. He wasn't the first to suggest the sun was the center, but he was the first to provide powerful, observable evidence. He taught us that to understand the universe, we must not rely solely on ancient authority or common sense, but we must observe, question, and test for ourselves. Galileo's story is a powerful reminder that progress often requires courage. The courage to look through a new lens, the courage to challenge what everyone else takes for granted, and the courage to hold on to the truth, even when the world tells you you're wrong. His legacy isn't just in the moons of Jupiter or the mountains on our moon. It's in every satellite we launch, every rover we land on Mars, and every powerful telescope that peers even deeper into the cosmic ocean he first explored. He showed us the way. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the life of a true pioneer. If you enjoyed this story and want to explore more great minds from history, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe and ring the notification bell so you won't miss our next video. We'd love to hear your thoughts on Galileo in the comments below. Until next time, keep looking up and stay curious.